Hello and welcome to Goddess Resurrection. My name is Britta and I am your host. And today's episode is yet another very, very special treat. We have Krista Rose. She is an intuitive guide, coach, and author whose work has reached millions worldwide. She specializes in self concept work and energetic healing, supporting clients in releasing old patterns, reconnecting with their intuition, and stepping fully into their most magnetic expression. Krista is the author of Show Up as Her and the host of the podcast That Bitch is Positive. At the core of her work is a devotion to embodiment, inner truth, and the remembrance of self. Welcome, Krista.
Thank you, Britta. It's such an honor to be here. I'm so thrilled to be in your space and talking with you.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel the same way. Thank you so much for being here. What a treat. What a special, special event.
Anytime I get to talk with you, I am dancing, I am celebrating because you say one sentence and it's, I swear, years and years of wisdom in one sentence. And it's just so transformational.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I always light up too when we connect because you are such a light, right? You are such a light, and you are also you're so devoted, right?
Mm,
To your light, to your authenticity, right? You walk your
mm.
talk, right?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes it looks like crawling, but I will get there. I will get back up, but sometimes it is on the knees, crying, crawling to walking again. But the beautiful thing is, we can always remember how to walk again. Always.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. And that is the process, right? We generally learn and grow through the challenges and the falling and then strengthening and getting back up, right? All of that is very light building and
Mm.
the embodiment of it.
Yeah, it's so funny because in those moments when have fallen to my knees and have been praying out and asking for guidance, honestly, probably the biggest thing I've asked for is for the divine to mold my heart to want what's for my highest good, because I think that's where ache comes in when I want someone who isn't for my highest good and they've already done the damn thing. They've activated what they needed to activate and now it's time for them to go. Desiring them, as a lover girl, it hurts and it sucks, honestly, but falling to your knees and just saying, mold my heart and help me see the higher perspective here. Those are the moments where you do feel the most light come into your body and into your life. And it's like your head just opens up and you're rehydrated, your whole spirit. And then you think perhaps everything will be okay. But it takes time for sure.
Yes, yes, but that's beautiful, beautiful what you just said, because it's really the truth. As we're talking about the feminine energy, right? And how it supports all area of life, and we'll be diving into dating,
Hmm.
how it really benefits dating. Um, but yes, feminine energy, there is no limit, right? And we go deeper and deeper and deeper into alignment through that surrender. That, okay, I trust, I surrender my ego will to when, where, how, whom, right? And really allowing for the space of that great unknown.
Yeah, yeah, because it's also so much work to have to decide the who, what, when, where. It's a lot. And when I first got into manifestation, it was so inspiring because I think coming from my background, the way I understood life is you get what you get and you don't get upset. And there's nothing you can do. And then comes in this ideology of actually you can manifest whatever it is you want.
Mhm.
But then you can almost get into such a masculine energy because you're trying to think of every single thing, and well, then how exactly is it going to happen, and do I want this or do I want this? To be able to just take a step back and say, give me what's for my highest good, give me what gives me the most happiness, the most pleasure, the most alignment. That to me is so much less work, and perhaps it feels better because that in itself is the alignment, even the process of the how.
Yes, 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 absolutely. And it's true. Once we get into, oh, I want this and I want this, and there's just so much ego influence there,
Yeah.
right? And once this masculine energy is stating and lining up all the things that we want,
Mm-hmm.
right? Is that really truly what we're on a soul level here to experience and here to want to manifest? So at some point, as we go deeper and that distinction becomes clearer,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's so much less about what we think we want, but it's a much deeper knowing of what we are here to receive.
Yeah, it's also just, when I think about it like this, I don't believe in wasting time, but I do think there's been moments in my life where I've wasted energy. And I think I would spend so much energy trying to manifest a specific person or circumstance, outcome. And sometimes it really did happen. I would receive it just to find out, wait, this is not what I actually want. I thought this would feel different. This is how this person treats me. This is how this circumstance actually feels. This is terrible. So we can just go completely around that by aligning with that highest will rather than what we think our will. And it does just allow for way less energy output as well.
Mhm. Yes, yes, yes. It's so true. Energy conservation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
girl.
it
That
is.
is a big one.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. And it's almost as if, at some point when you're really allowing for that co-creation with spirit, um, it becomes easier, the energy flows much more smoothly, and also you're now able to bypass
Mhm.
those that maybe look shiny and attractive,
Mm.
but you know that that's just not going to be the right road.
Oh my God. Yeah, discernment is one of the greatest gifts that I think we can all develop. It definitely comes through experience, at least in my own life, having to find out that not all that glitters is gold was a new one, and it was the greatest lesson ever. And your body will tell you, you will get dreams, you will get feelings. I've gotten hives over things, but you quickly realize, oh damn, this looks so good, my ego wanted it, it made sense on paper, and then I got it and it feels terrible. And I think sometimes we need to mourn that too, like mourn dreams or visions we had for ourselves that we thought, keyword thought, was going to work out, and then come to realize our body and our intuition and our feminine energy actually says, no, not it.
Mhm, mhm. Yes, yes, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your dating journey
Ooh.
where you were still in the masculine energy, just so it's a little bit of an example for the viewers as
Okay.
to right, what was dating like in
Yeah.
the masculine energy?
Oh, what a time to be alive. That's how it was. Well, it was a lot of me over functioning with so many different people. I was the mother, the therapist, just about every embodiment you could tap into, I was doing.
Mhm,
I wouldn't even let things fall apart because I was so fearful of that person leaving my life, that fear of abandonment, that I was hyper vigilant of any possible threat, any SOS signal. I was already on top of it before it could unfold in a way that I would perceive was negative. I definitely feel like When I was dating in my masculine energy, I feel like I was always performing because I just wanted the person in front of me to say, yes, I love you, I accept you, and I value you. But the way I've learned to get safety and connection was always through performance. And it mostly was performing the good girl. And that's why I would kept just getting into this loop of performing the mother, performing the therapist, performing the listening ear. And what I kept finding was okay, fine, it was different people, but it was the same dynamic in one way or another. They were either an addict or they were a narcissist. I know so many people use that word, but it is prevalent. They were someone who just needed a lot of help because their life was kind of a mess. And because I was still performing, regardless of if I thought they were good enough for me or not, it didn't matter because I wanted to perform that I was good enough for them. And I think eventually I just got to a point where I realized I kept attracting people wearing masks because I was wearing a mask. I was performing just as much as they were. So, of course, that's what I'm going to get. We get what we are, not truly what we want. It's what we're broadcasting. And you get hurt enough times, or hopefully you can listen to podcasts like this and you don't have to go through what maybe I've gone through, what you have gone through, and you can just hear it from someone else. For me, I am like Eve, I have to bite the apple. I need to eat the whole damn thing down to the rind to really get the lesson. And I had a moment where I asked myself, all right, Krista, you have gone through so many breakups and you're complaining that you're going through so many breakups. If you are both the problem and the solution, what are you doing that is causing this outcome repeatedly? And I really had come to the realization that I was not even looking at what the other person was showing me because I was so consumed in my own performance
Mhm.
that I would allow people in who just were not right from the start. Like whether it was, oh, they didn't get my door, or they're not in their masculine energy, or they are not actually someone I think I can build a future with because they have different values and they have a completely different moral compass. I didn't even I really didn't even look. Barely cared because I was so worried about, well, what is my performance looking like? And I would do that body bouncing thing where I felt like my soul would bounce out of my body and into the other person. And I was just perceiving myself from their point of view rather than just being Krista. It didn't feel good. And it definitely did not get good results because I'm with none of those people now. And so I would say if I could use one word to really sum up what dating from your masculine energy feels like, I would say it's burnout. It's exhaustion. It's so much work for so little pay. And not to say I regret any of this, I don't. I've learned discernment and I've learned where I want to exist, and that is within my feminine energy. But it's definitely a chapter I'm so happy to close.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh my gosh, right? Isn't it? Isn't it the truth?
Oh,
And it's really that burnout, right? Of like you said, the performance, and looking back at my masculine energy dating experience, I always used to say to my girlfriends, I build them up and I sent them out. I build them up and I sent them out. And I was always just like baffled as to why nothing ever stuck.
right.
Right. And that's so much of what our conversations were about as well, right?
Yeah.
Because there is this tendency, whether you're the mother or the therapist or the good girl, like you said, it doesn't even matter where they're at. You just feel like you can just help them.
Yeah.
Right? That masculine energy is still very loving, but
Yeah.
it's this helping, wanting to support and fix and just make them the man that is then that match.
Oh, yeah. What made you finally decide to change your tune and to step into the feminine when dating?
Well, it was, it was a process as it is, right?
Yeah.
It's a process of as we deepen and as I deepened into my feminine energy, right? It was this process of aligning with my worth,
Mm.
right? And deeper and deeper and deeper. And we get tested
Yeah.
in our worth,
Yeah.
right? And that's how we let go of the masculine energy to the point where, hence goddess resurrection, right? Is
Right.
really to be in the fullness of the worth, the fullness of the grace, the values, the morals, right? That mission awareness, right? The soul connectivity that runs so deep, and again, it's layers, it's levels, right?
Yeah.
So to anybody listening, it's very important to recognize where that still masculine energy is at play. And these are the reasons why things don't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you, as the feminine, right? All of us, as the feminines, we are here to step into our full worth now.
Yeah.
And we will get ones that test us in our worth until we are in it.
Oh my God. Yeah. I even remember this guy asked me, "Oh, Krista, what are you looking for?" And the first two things I said was no jail record and healthy. And he looked at me like, "Your standard is so low." And I said, "Well, that's what I've experienced. So I want to make sure that I don't do that again." And so sometimes I think the divine like pokes at us and it kind of laughs with us and says, "Yeah, yeah, you got to raise your standard on yourself, on your own damn worth." And that is the biggest lesson out of all these people. I would say discernment and then recognizing my own worth. And I truly believe it's so many micro decisions that make the macro change where you're finally seeing, oh yeah, wait, I'm not going to deal with that. I have this going for me. I feel this good. I have peace in my heart. Why would I allow someone with muddy feet to walk into my life all over it? It just doesn't make any sense. And I don't believe that we are meant to be these little things just offering ourselves up to all of these men. I mean, I'm dating men, so offering ourselves up to all of these men. I'm now in the belief of no, 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 this is my temple. And actually, you have to come to me with an offering, not me offering to help you, fix you, heal you, other way around, and standing in that.
Yes, 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 yes. That's exactly it. Um, and this inner alignment and discernment and owning the worth of self also, of course, requires the healing, right? The deeper healing of whatever patterns we learned and were conditioned with in terms of, how we learned love, how we witnessed love, right? Through the parents, through the early teenage years, which are very, very, very impactful,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I see it with, so many that it's not just early childhood, right? It's also the first love or the first few loves that, if things really were not of respect and devotion and deep transparency, those things, those hurts, those betrayals just create such strong patterns
Mm-hmm.
that are
Yeah.
of the lack of worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because let's say in your late teens or early 20s you experience betrayal, that almost confirms that little thought of I'm not good enough. Oh yeah, I'm not good enough and that's why they cheated. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not good enough and that. So we make our own conclusions already off of a faulty program that only reinforces those negative and limiting beliefs when I really think, and I know it's so hard to do because we have these intense human emotions, I really do believe, no man is our friend, no man is our enemy. Every single man is a portal to our next evolution of self. and seeing these people as mirrors. When I look into a mirror, it does not distort what it reflects back. It's a mere reflection, it's neutral. I feel at this point just letting the past rest in peace and saying, I'm just taking total responsibility over what comes next. And I say this as someone who dated three men with the same exact birthday. Okay. So I've been there and I know it's not fun. And I also didn't want to do this. But when you do it, oh my God, it does get better. You do feel better. You pass the test. I had to go through it 3 times exactly. But here we are. You get there eventually.
Yes, yeah, yes, 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 absolutely. And just to reach back just a little further, when it comes to relationship, right? The interaction between, and again, it's not just, it can be both same sex as well, right? One holds the feminine, one holds the masculine, right? So when we really look back at how we are not just conditioned in this lifetime, but we were conditioned for millennia in this way of having to serve the man, of having to prove ourselves, of having to be that, hey, look at
Mhm.
me, pick
Yeah.
me, I'm the one, I'm so great, right? Having to be that mask.
Yeah.
And that was very much that patriarchy, right? And so these patterns run extremely deep,
Mhm.
right, in all of us women. And there were just a few moments in time where maybe there was a lifetime that was of a different dynamic,
Right.
right? But this journey of deepening into the feminine, which is the worth, right?
Mhm.
Because the masculine, to say, oh, look at me, I'm so great because of this, or look at me, I'm so great because of that, right? That masculine way of performing or showing,
Mhm.
and the woman could have an amazing, right, way of living her life, so many strengths, but it's still ego, it's still masculine, it's still external. And when we're really wanting to get into that deep connection, that authentic soul true love,
Yeah.
right, none of the external things actually matter
Mhm.
for the feminine.
Mhm.
For the feminines, it is so important to understand your resume doesn't matter,
Mhm.
right? For the feminines, it's your vibration. It's that worth, that discernment, that self-love, that self-care that builds this vibration that is the leading vibration to which the counterpart will be rising to match her.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think intention is so important. I check in with myself and say, what's my intention here? And if I feel like I'm putting on a mask, I'll ask myself, am I peacocking? Because peacocks will show all of their feathers in order to attract a mate. And I don't want to peacock. I don't want to have to be saying, and I wrote this book and I did this. And blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. I don't feel like doing all that. You either like me or you don't. And that's it. And anytime I've ever stepped into that energy, it never feels good because it is a masculine and it's just not my core. And when I check in with my intention and I ask myself, am I peacocking or am I just broadcasting me? That always helps me get back into my own body and say, no, this is just me just saying what I want to say and showing up how I want to show up. And I also think it altered my mindset so much because I think prior in mainstream, there was the big question of, well, what do you bring to the table? And I
Mhm.
would see so many videos of these men on the street asking women, what do you bring to the table? And it's like, hello, our energy is what makes a house a home. It's something you can't even understand. And I then started saying, you know what? If anyone ever asked me that, I literally thought, I would just bring a table and smash it to smithereens and just see if they can even build it back up. That's what I want to know. Can you even build a table? Like there are so many just people who are, I really believe, confused about what they're even looking for and what energy to be in. And gosh, I see some things on social media of, to me, what I perceive as really feminine, with men looking for validation in really weird ways. And it's just like, whoa, it's taken many years for us to get here, but I do believe we can reverse this, or we can go to a different place energetically where we can remind ourselves it is not my job to prove myself through what I've accomplished. I also don't have to require only that which I have. I've had this realization recently where I might broadcast certain things and have certain things, and I also might require different things of a masculine, because I need a great person to be on my team. I don't need exactly me. And resting into that and knowing that our energy is actually what the masculine needs, like our broadcast to complement theirs, that's the magic. That is the resume. That is the thing. That is the everything. And knowing that that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
Yes, 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 absolutely, absolutely. There's this really funny TikTok channel where it's this, she's an older woman, and she gets asked, "What do you bring to the table?" And she says, "Nothing, honey. I'm not a waitress."
Yeah. I
And
love that.
so it's, but back to what you were saying, yeah. It comes back down to the level, right? Because when we look at the pool of the humans that are looking for a mate,
Mhm.
right? Most of them are still at a lower consciousness level. Most of them are still very much in their masculine energy, both, right? Or the woman is in her masculine and the man is the feminine, right? So everything is a little topsy-turvy right now.
Yeah.
And so they're looking for things that they think, right? We're coming back to, I think I want, I want her to be at home and raise the children and care for the home. I want her to be a housewife, right?
Mm.
For example. And again, it's nothing wrong, right? With a woman wanting to just be at home. But if we're looking at the level of vibration, right, that as we deepen into the feminine and we really bring in so much more light and we embody so much more of our true divine self, now the counterpart match really comes into play. And now the union is also so much more important to much bigger missions, right? Much bigger missions. And it doesn't mean there can't be children, and it doesn't mean there can't be a beautiful, cozy house, right? Or home. But at the same time, we're looking at a development of really co-creating together, really working together, right? Really understanding that it is that coming together of these higher frequencies that is the, twin towers unite, right?
Yeah.
It's almost an explosion that manifests not only so much light onto this planet, but also allows for so much, purpose
Oh,
to come
yeah.
into play. And for it to be long term and lasting, there is going to be growth continuously. There's going to be evolution continuously, right? It's not going to just stay in, oh, well, this is what I want, because there is that openness to continuous growth and expansion.
I definitely feel that we are on the leading edge of a massive explosion of divine unions. And I think that it's been hard, I know, in my own life and a lot of my friends, to see other people, get together, be in relationship. And we're thinking, well, when is it going to be my time? But it's so worth it to just actually wait and prepare your own body, your own mind for the life that you want to live within, and go where you want to go and don't go where you don't want to go. But to be in this season knowing you're not forgotten, and it's not that it's not going to happen for you, you are literally energetically priming yourself for the highest love. And
Mhm.
I would so much rather wait, be patient, rest into all the things that I'm creating, explore my own energy, than rush into something that's going to end in us breaking up anyway. I mean, I've already done that. It sucks. I don't want to keep doing that. I know what it is to drop a standard to enter into a relationship just to end it a couple months later or 7 years later, but it still ended. And I think that more and more women are awakening. And if this masculine energy is truly our mirror, which it is, they must awaken too. It's energetic law. There's no way around it. And that gives me peace and it gives me hope. And not to say that I found my husband yet, but I will say with everyone I've said no to, that next person that's come into my life was always a little bit better, was always a little bit more in alignment, was always more of that archetype of divine union. And for me personally, when I look into my future and I'm thinking about what that could look like, shouldn't we really make sure that we, if we decide to get pregnant, are pregnant with the person who can actually support us instead of the one who's going to leave us in the delivery room or make it about him? Shouldn't we really just rest into the now and make sure that when we do maybe explore the world with someone, they don't pick out things to complain about instead of being able to find a solution? Shouldn't we really wait for the person who can actually make us feel safe instead of the one who makes us have cortisol parties in our body every single day? It's not worth it. That is not even living life. That's just existing within a prison. And why would we do that to ourselves? We also have our own inner masculine within, and that part of us has to protect ourselves, not out of fear, but out of devotion to the higher vision, devotion of what God has placed in my heart, your heart, all of anyone who wants divine union. I feel so much more devoted to that vision, what I know is possible versus the people who just come in front of me now as I'm shifting, as I'm changing, and protecting little me, protecting that vision, protecting my heart, and knowing maybe temporarily it's uncomfortable, but it's in service of something so much bigger. That is personally what gets me through.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, that was so beautifully said. That was so amazing. Yes, 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 yes. And I agree. We are on this brink of massive explosion of divine unions. Um, and again, for every woman that is listening, it is really up to the feminine to manifest that through her worth, through her vibration, right? Because that is what will activate the counterpart. And so now we are in divine union because these two souls are contracted
Mm-hmm.
to come together for so much,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because as we are ascending, everything is about to change, or it is already.
Yay, party! I love that for us.
Yes, 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 exactly. Now, of course, I can't believe it's already 30 minutes.
I can't believe that either.
Like, how did that just fly by? But we do want to come into more of the examples of how it is living and dating and being in the feminine. So, do you mind? Can we do a part two?
We must do a part two.
We must, absolutely. Yay. Okay, great. Um, so we'll just, jump into a second recording right after.
Okay.
Okay, okay, great. But Krista, would you just let everybody know if anybody wants to get a hold of you, how can people reach you?
People can find me on Instagram, on TikTok at the Krista Rose Code. It's the CHRISTA Rose Code. And they can DM me there, message me there. I also have a podcast, That Bitch is Positive. Bitch stands for Babe in True Connection with Herself. And we talk a lot about dating in real time. You will see me crying. And you can also just Google my book, Show Up as Her.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you so much for your presence, for your love, for your light. I
Thank
love
you,
it. I
Britta.
love you so much. Thank you for
I love you. You're the best. I said this to you before, but you have changed my life more than anyone else. You are the most perfect, 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 perfect. example of divine feminine living, embodiment, existence, and you have literally been a personal bridge for me in so many of my seasons. You've seen me through every relationship, and I would not be who I am without you 100%. I needed you so badly in my reality, and you have changed my life.
Oh, oh. Thank you. Yes, thank you
Yeah,
so much.
of
Oh,
course.
yeah, the things we've been through together already, huh?
We're just getting started, which is crazy.
But what a great chapter all of that was.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I was just so blessed and grateful that I was able to be there with you.
Mm. I believe it was so destined. So
Yes,
destined. There's no
yes.
way around
It
that.
was destined the way,
Yeah,
even when we met, right? It was
yeah,
immediately, oh,
yeah.
hello, I know you.
Exactly. I think I told you before, but when I saw you outside, I didn't know I was going to be working with you because I was at a retreat, but I immediately just recognized you. And I didn't know what I knew, but I just knew. And
Yes.
that's divine feminine energy for you.
That's it. Yes, it is.
Yay.
All right. Okay, good. So, I'll see you in just a few minutes.
Perfect.
And everybody, thank you for your presence, your beautiful light, and thank you for being here. And as always, I'm sending love and light blessings to you and yours. Hugs and kisses. Ciao
Yay.
for now.